tax-free saving account? So have all of you heard of tax-free saving account? Voila. So today we'll talk about three major things. Number one, what is tax-free saving account? Number two, what are the benefits of using tax-free saving account? And then number three, what are the investment choices for tax-free saving account? So we will say it like a TFSA. So it stands for tax-free saving account. And of course, like I will just give about half-hour talk. And after that, feel free to ask any questions. So what is tax-free saving account? It's a program designed by federal government, Canada Revenue Agency. It began in the year 2009. What's the purpose? It is to help people to set money aside tax-free throughout their lifetime. Then who is qualified? What is the eligibility to open an account? The individuals who are living in Canada, 18 years old, and have a valid social insurance number. So those are the people who can open the tax-free saving account. Then what are the pros and the cons? Okay, so the good thing, advantage about this account is tax-free. So any amount that contribute as well as any income earned in the account, for example, investment income and capital gains, is generally tax-free, even when it is withdrawal, okay? And then tax-free withdrawals wouldn't affect government benefits. So usually we talk about the government benefit, including old age security, guaranteed income supplement, and also unemployment insurance. Then what are the cons? Number one, contribution to tax-free saving account are not deductible for income tax purpose. Why is that? Because we use the after-tax money to contribute to tax-free saving account. So the administrative or other fees in relate to tax-free saving account, and also if we have a tax-free saving account loan, the interest is not deductible either. Also, be very careful about the contribution. We all have a maximized contribution room. If we contribute too much into this tax-free account, then what happens? That will be 1% tax penalty per month applies to the excess contribution amount. So that's why I will ask all of you to check what is the limits. How to manage tax-free saving account? Number one thing, we say, well, we can set up a TFSA and then in any financial institutions. It's an investment account, and then it's very flexible because we can use this money, withdraw the money, short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Depends when do you need to use the money. The second stage will be contribution. So contribute to tax-free saving account. So we need to check the TFSA room. Where you can find this information is from your My Account at the website www.canada.ca. So it's a Canada Revenue Agency website. Also, there's many other ways to check this amount. Number one, we talk about the My Account in the CRA website. My CRA is a mobile app. So in your cell phone, you can have that app, and it's very easy and quick for you to be able to check. Represent a client if you have an authorized representative. Usually people say, well, my income tax is so complex. I just ask my accountant to do so, okay? Then tax information phone services. So you say, well, I would rather call and talk to the person. You might have some more questions to ask, and feel free to call this number. Number three stage is the withdrawal from TFSA. So very simple, no-brainer, because every time you withdraw the amount is no tax, zero tax. How much is the contribution room? So here we already talked about since 2009, we're starting to be able to have the contribution room, right? If we never heard about tax-free saving account, we never contribute anything, and all the amount will not be lost. It will be accumulated. So let's say since 2009, usually every year is a 5,000. 2013, you have a 500 more. 2015 is a very exceptional year because that year we got the most contribution room, 10,000. And after that, we come back to 5,500 each year. And now it's much more stable since 2019, 6,000. And this year, the same thing. Starting the January 1st, you can starting to have the room 6,000. So some of people say, well, I never use it. How much accumulation room we have? Let's say we already live in Canada since 2009. Then the maximum contribution room is 81,500. But if I say, well, I'm a new immigrant, I just landed in Canada in 2020. So how much contribution room we have will be 3 times 6,000 is 18,000, okay? So this is about the contribution room. And let's come back to the spectrum here. So there's many different accounts. A lot of people say, well, it's really confusing. You talk about this type of account, that type of account, right? So I will give you a checklist. Number one thing, when we go to the bank, we open 2 major accounts, right? Checking account is for what? For our receiving the paycheck, for us to pay the bills. Number 2, we also have some emergency fund, put it into saving account. So pretty much we just put it in cash form, very small little interest. Then what we show people recently, last few webinars, is all about the saving and investment account. We teach people how to use those money and make more money. So those are the investment accounts. We talk about tax-free saving account to date. And last 3 weeks, we talk about RSP, is mainly saving for retirement. And next month, we will talk about our ESP, education. Also, certain people could have a certain conditions like a disability. And then it could be good for the parents or the person have the disability to be able to save money for themselves because the government will give them quite a lot of grants and loans. We will talk about that in the future. Then after you say, well, I use or maximize the other accounts, registered account, I still have a lot of money where to put. You can also put it into the non-registered account, okay? Or what kind of money can put into the non-registered account? Let's say US dollar money, okay? So in the US dollar currency, you say, I don't want to convert to Canadian dollars. You can put it into the non-registered account. So this gives you how to say a whole picture, how those like different accounts fit into your investment. Does that make sense? Okay, number 2, I would like to also share with you why we need a tax-free saving account. So we will focus what are the benefits of using it, right? So what are the benefits? Number one thing, it's very flexible. It can meet different financial goals. Let's say I have a short-term goal. I can put it into an emergency fund because withdraw the money, you have no worry about paying tax or the other concerns. Then you can take out the money for travel. Also, you may have some special events organized for the holidays, and then you do need some extra funds to support that events. Medium-term goals, for example, buy the car in 1 or 2 years, 3 years, marriage, travel, and also 5 years down payment for house. And of course, we can also use this as a long-term goal. The meeting, you don't need them right now or currently, you can also save up for the long term. Then you can build solid retirement income. And also it's very easy to withdraw funds in the time of needs, no tax, right? Then also, we already talked about that. Anytime withdraw from a tax-free saving account, it wouldn't reduce government benefits. For example, the person is claiming the unemployment insurance or receiving the Canada Child benefit or old age security guarantee income supplement for the retirees. So that will not affect those government benefits. And also when we withdraw the money this year, then we can also recontribute back to TFSA the next year. Okay, your room will not disappear. As I mentioned earlier, contribution room accumulated without expiration. So you say, well, it's the first time I heard of that. How much I have? all those rooms will not disappear. You just continue to accumulate it for you, okay? And also another thing is different from the RSP that we talked about a few weeks ago, is that the contribution room to TFSA is not related to your annual income. All right. So when you have this room for contribution, let's say, oh, this year I turned 18. So starting this year, I have a 6,000 room. That's simple. Okay. And then here we talk about the long-term goals. We also share with you that we cannot rely on the government's money for our secure retirement, right? Because OAS, OAH security, plus Quebec pension plan, outside Quebec is a Canada pension plan, and those amount you receive is a taxable, after tax is not the big amount. And then if you have a good employer, contribute for the long run for your group RSP, you might have a good pension. But lots of people right now might not have this like a huge pension built up from the group RSP. Then how you can rely on the build your retirement income? Number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are the 5 streams of income we can build for our secure retirement. We already talked about that RSP last 3 sections. Today we focus on tax-free saving account. Because your own savings, whenever you withdraw the money, either now or a few years later or after age 65, it's always tax-free. And the money that you put in there for investment can keep on growing, accumulate for you, right? And then in the future, we might also talk about, share with you how non-registered account works. And we also have the other type of saving in the insurance, life insurance, and also critical illness with the return of a premium option. So those are the saving and investment plan in the insurance company. Okay, number 3. So let's say I already opened a tax-free saving account, but what are the investment choices I could have? So number 1 thing, I always stress this out. A lot of people say, oh, I do have tax-free saving account, but I really don't know what is there. A lot of times they say, well, I just open the account and I put cash. Because sometimes in the bank or in the financial institutions, no one give you the advice how to invest your money. So a lot of people just have the cash sitting in the type of accounts. But here, we also like to share with you what kind of investment options available for you. So from the government website, there's a permitted investment. So here's the list. Cash, of course, I don't do anything. I just keep it there for emergency fund. You can put it into the bonds. There could be government bond, corporate bonds. So you can generate a little bit interest from there. However, just remind you, right now we are in a very low interest environment. So in that sense, it doesn't really generate much income for you. And certain people want the security. They would like to put the money into the guarantee investment certificates. So we also call it GIC. So you give the bank 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. The money, they say, well, when the certificate matures, they can give you certain interest. All right. As I say, because the interest rate is so low and the interest rate you receive might not even capable to beat inflation. After that, we have a mutual funds or segregated funds. And these 2 types are the ones I would like to share with you more. Of course, certain people would like to buy stocks. So they know about the stock, they do their own due diligence. So they understand the industry, the company. By all means, go ahead. But usually it's not our job. We just advise the client to do it themselves. And of course, there's a certain people have holding the share of a small business corporations. That's also could be the permitted type of investment into the tax-free saving account. And here I would like to share with you what's the difference between mutual funds and segregated funds. A lot of our clients ask our questions, and then we say, well, it's very simply to understand. Segregated funds, pretty much it's just like on top of the mutual fund, you have a layer of a protection. That's why mutual fund is distributed by the banks, investment companies. And then segregated funds is distributed by insurance company. A layer of protection is like a guarantee for what? For the maturity and the death. And also there's some functions that segregated fund has. For example, reset functions means what? Not just guarantee the principal, we also would like to help you to lock in the profit. Later on, I'm going to show you some diagram. It will be much easier for you to understand. And then bypass probate is very important. This is really for the estate planning, where you should keep your wealth. So a lot of people say, well, I don't prepare any will. So if the person die without a proper will, what can happen? The person's asset will go through a probate process, and there will be a lot of fees involved. For example, surrender fee, accounting fee, and legal fees. So those are the fees in the future that you might not set aside for, right? It could be a surprise for you. And also privacy. In terms of segregated fund, when you open an account, you already design your beneficiary. So where the money goes, because the insurance company will directly give the amount to your beneficiary within 7 or 10 days. It's very quick. However, if the money is sitting in the banks or in the financial institutions, it might be frozen. And then all your assets can go to your estate account and then go through the long proceeding of a probate process, and also need to pay fees, clear off the company, government income tax, the final tax, and also pay all the creditors. Then the money, if there's any left, can go to the family. All right. So that's why we say, especially when we plan for the long run, and also especially when the market is fluctuating a lot, or we might see a market like a downward, then we will have a better protection from the segregated fund. Okay, so these are the theories. Let me show you the diagram. So it will be much easier for you to understand all the concepts when you see this example. Let's say this person, 40 years old, put into the investment $100,000. Then he's planning to use this amount of money for his own retirement at the age of 65, which is 25 years later. And the market can go ups and downs, is that right? So we'll say when the market goes up between age 40 and 50, and we have the reset function for this type of investment, and then the guarantee amount is not just the original principal 100,000, because along the way, we help the client to guarantee more than he invested at the very beginning. So let's say he enjoyed quite a few times rise on the market prices, and then here the guarantee value become 140,000. And then it's bad luck. God forbid things happen in a way that, oh, the market just go quite low for quite a while. Okay, so from the age 50 to age 65, we realize the market doesn't really pick up, but always go down. So it's a downward. How we can protect clients' asset in the segregated fund? We say, well, at the age of 65, in case the person need to withdraw everything, the market price is only 75%, 75,000, right? But because it's a layer of a protection and guarantee on top of that, then the insurance company will make up the difference. So on this day, maturity day, age 65, the client can still get 140,000. All right, so this is how segregated fund works. And those are the features to help you what? Locking your profit when the market goes like a bull market, and also help you to protect the downward market like a bear market. You can still maintain your principal and also the profit you earn. Okay, so this is how it works. And then we say, well, a lot of people say, I would like to know what are the selections. For me, certain people are conservative, so pretty much is here. So some people say I'm balanced balance profile. And some people say, oh, I'm growth and aggressive. All right. So we do need to help them to see what are the suitable investment for them. So the bottom line is what? Let's say in the history of 86 years, from year 1934 all the way to 2020. So 86 years, we went through a lot, right? The World War II, we have the Gulf War, we have like a 2000 IT bubble, we have a 2008 and 9, the financial crisis, right? And also we also remember very freshly last year, not last year, it's like March 2020, we have what? Very kind of like a crash in a way, but it back up again. So we went through a lot along this time of history. The main theme you can see here, if you can invest long run, so the market always go up, right? Just in between, the market still goes ups and downs. So that's why we say, well, do not think just short term. When we invest, when we really would like to gain money and profit, and long-term investment is a very good strategy, okay? So next, we also continue to share with you the rule of 72 and say, people say, well, how the return will look like in the long run. Let's say at the age of 20, 3 person put into the money into 3 different portfolios. Number 1 is a conservative, average 3%, barely just beat the inflation. Number 2 person say, well, I will put it into more like a balanced portfolio and then 6% average return. And then the person number 3 say, well, I need more growth. I don't need this $2,000 for the very long run. I can even just forget this $2,000. And I would like to see when I retire at the age of 68, how much I can get. So the person say, since I don't need to use this money, I just put it there like a seed money and bet it under the ground and I wait with patience and let me see how it can grow. So 12% average rate of return, if we use this rule of 72, what it says from the well-known physicist and the brain mind, who is that? Albert Einstein. He said, 72 divided by average rate of return equal to 6 years. Your money can double, right? So you see the 3 person put to the different portfolio, the result will be huge difference, right? At the age of 68, 3 of them all retire. If the person never get any advice, we're so afraid to do anything, just put the money into the saving account and checking account and just put it there, or GIC. So what happened? At the age of 65, you just barely beat the inflation, not much for the retirement. The second one, do a little bit better. So 6% average rate of return at the age of 65, at least have 5 figures, 62,000. And then this one can assume a little bit more risk and don't need the money right away and have this long-term strategy. And you see the retirement is very different, right? The retirement amount available for this person is over $500,000, right? So this is the very simple principle, or we say the rules, how money works, okay? So now we will say how we should invest into the tax-free saving account. So doesn't matter what account you open. So the principle are pretty much the same. Because we are talking about TFSA, today we will say, well, usually let's say everybody have 6,000 per year, maximum contribution rule, right? So maximum you can contribute 500 per month into the tax-free saving account. All right, so if you do this maximized plan and balance portfolio, average 7% return, how your money will grow. After 10 years, you will have a 66,000 in the account, TFSA account. After 20 years, you have over $250,000. And then after 30 years, now is the retirement age, you will have more than $500,000, close to 600 million. Then you have a much better retirement life, right? A lot of people say, well, I don't have 500 per month to maximize it. It doesn't matter. If you say, well, I have a 300 per month or 200 per month, it's always better than nothing, right? When you say, well, what's the difference? If I regularly commit to invest into my long-term goals, then you put 300 per month, the end result after 30 years, you will still have a very good lump sum, 352,000, right? Then if you say, well, I do a little bit less, but after you contribute for such a long time, 200 per month contribution into this room, into the tax-free saving account, your retirement still will close to $250,000. Okay, so this is how we make a difference in people's life. You do need to prepare and save up for the future, because we often say, if you don't save money today, and in the future, when you really need the money, your money is not there available for you to save you, okay? So here, I would like to also show you the diagram. Earlier, I said, well, 500 per month, continue to do this for the next 30 years, it can become 588,000. Is it possible? Okay, let me help you to run this diagram for you, okay? So this is the diagram to show the results, all right? So the end result, 588,000. An average rate of return 7%, we continue to do this 30 years. And what you do, save up money, 500 into tax-free saving account every month. So just continue to do this, and that will make the difference. But if you say, well, I don't have 30 years until I retire, I only have 10 years. Still, when you save this money, it's much better than nothing. Why? Because in 10 years, your TFSA, you could have around 100,000, right? Or the 20 years, you can save more, then it's close to 280,000. And then 25 years, you have 400,000. So along the way, you still have a lot of good money saved up for your future. And of course, I would like to show you the market is not like this. It's not smoothly like this, okay? The reality pretty much is like that, okay? So you need to say, well, the market ups and downs. This is reality. But we will say average rate of return to smooth out the ups and downs. If it can give me 7%, and then this is a goal that you can attain. Does it make sense? Okay, great. So let me move on to the next one, because I will also show you the reality when we talk about the mathematic formula, when we talk about the principle, the rules, but it's more important to show you the reality, right? So let me give you 3 examples to help you to understand out there, what are the possible investment options for you, right? So I do need to make a disclaimer for us. Our financial webinar is not to selling any product or do anything, because when you really need to look into any investment choices, you do need to sit down with your financial advisor. Or you say, I don't have any financial advisor, feel free to come to talk to us. And then here, all the diagram is only for the illustration and education purpose, okay? But those are the historical real data. So we are not going to show you just like an assumption. It's the real data. So this is number 1. We will help you to choose the funds, let's say mutual fund or segregated fund, that is suitable for you. And also we would like to help you to outperform the market. So let's look at the diagram here. Let's say 1999, you put into this account $100,000, right? And then you need to see 15 years later, you're going to retire, how much money it can grow to. And then we can also look at the market index, right? Standard & Poor's TXX Composite Index. So this is the gray line. So we also remember 2008, 2009, there's quite a dip here, right? So this is a real market index. But when we help our clients, we would like to outperform the market. In what way? To offer them the managed funds. The managed funds always working hard for you in a way. When other people earn money, you earn more than they do, especially in the downward market. If they lost a lot, but we will say we will help you to stop the loss here, so you will not lose too much, right? So what's the end result? If you say, well, I'm just passive investor, I just put into the index funds, so just let the market goes and downs. Doesn't matter, whatever you put it there, in the long run, you still gain money, okay? That's the general rule, right? I show you the long-term picture. So 15 years, 100,000 become 243,000 plus. And why you need advisor? Because we always would like to help you to earn more with the expertise and professional advice. So for this red line, you can see with the advisor, you can pretty much gain 43,000 more when you retire. This is pretty much about what? A 1 year salary, right? So that's the difference financial advisor can make. So this is example number one. And also this is the, how to say, principle, how we recommend funds to people. Number two, I would like to show you the next diagram. So it's from a different financial institutions. So this is from Bank of Montreal. It's a guaranteed income fund. And also it has a very special feature is that to help you to lock in your profit every month. So this is only available in the segregated fund. Remember, I told you the very good feature in the segregated fund is not just protect your principal and also help you to reset your guarantee value. So throughout the year, whatever the profit you gain, they can also help you to lock in your profit. So how does this fund works? Let's say $100,000 invest into this BMO guarantee is an ETF balance fund. And then for this year, 2017, let's just look at 1 year period of time, how we can help you to earn money by using this mechanism, right? So let's say when we invest 100,000 into this account, then we select this fund. And the computer is so smart because we set the reset day. Computer will do the work for you automatically. So we set it like pretty much the last day of every month. And then you can see you gain $800, your guarantee value move up. Next time you gain $1,600, move up again. Another time you gain 3,800, your guarantee value move up again. If the market goes low, goes down, don't worry, just let it go. And then another reset is 4,600. And then November, one more reset, 105,400. So your guarantee value already move up throughout this year from 100,000 original investment, 105,400. So the 5,400 profit, you also be able to guarantee. And the next year, continue to doing this, right? So this is available in the Bank of Montreal, 100% and 100% protection for your maturity day and also the upon death, okay? So this is the SEC fund that is a very good way to help you to have the peace of mind, right? When you invest. Number three, another example, here are the two different funds. And here we also will construct the portfolio for people. Portfolio means what? In this fund, we have how much? This portfolio, we have composed of 4 different funds. So you can invest into the Canadian market, US market, global market, and also, of course, you have some bond funds, right? It's quite diversified. So the same thing here is a real historical curve and numbers, right? So let's say we invest $10,000 in year 2013. Let's look at a few years later at the year of 2021. We also see that is what happened in the market, right? But no worry about that because the market back up again. So that's why we can help you to have an average annual compounding return 9.97%. This is how your portfolio will look like. Your money will grow from 10,000 and become how much? About like a 22,000. All right. So this is more like a long-term investment, how you can achieve your long-term saving goals. All right. And then next, I think pretty much I would like to share with you. So for us, we have no obligation to push any funds and push any products. For us, we are very objective to give people advice. And we work with so many financial institutions. For example, now it's in the RSP season. We work with BMO. They give us like a 2 line of business investment and also the mortgage. B2B bank, recently we work with them a lot because the people say, well, I have this the room, contribution room, but I don't have the money to put it there. Okay, so when the person's credibility is good, it's a suitable client, that's a growth portfolio, we will borrow the money for them so they can invest into the account and they can start to save and make money. Then also you see a lot of clients, they have their preference to select the funds from a different fund companies. So we have a quite variety of choices. Then we also say, well, protecting your assets are very important because your car, your house, your commercial insurance is very important, right? So we work with the largest broker in the world, Aon, to protect your assets. Then we often ask people, what is the most important asset in your life? It is you, yourself, your life, and your health, right? So we work with so many companies like IA, Equitable, Manulife, like Abdala, Forrester, and Vary. So we offer very wide, how to say, variety of different type of protections for people. Your health, your life, your dental, travel insurance, disability, critical illness, all right? Especially when you need money, and then we are the one would like to help you to have the sufficient money to help you to go through a difficult task. Okay, so this is pretty much I would like to share with you. And this is my contact information in case it's your first time, welcome. And of course, and when you enter into the Zoom room, it's my cell phone number. So always when you have a questions, feel free to call me. Okay, so that's all I would like to share. Thank you so much.